Kartak, and I'm the creator of Redshift, and you're watching the one and only Regie Collects on YouTube.
Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to the Ready, Set, Go preview show, except for the two people that gave the video a thumbs down. Not a welcome to you. I always have a plan for how I'm going to open these videos up, and then things just go awry. Anyway, I want to welcome you guys to the Ready, Set, Go preview show. This is the show that we do on Sunday night because it gives us an opportunity to come together as a community and spend a little time with one another. This weekend has been bananas. It has been a crazy weekend. I spent a lot of time with my family yesterday. One of my younger sisters traveled in from DC with two of her friends. So we went over and spent some time with my parents and my sister and her friends. And I brought my dog and she had her dog. It was a flurry of activity. And today, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I spent some time doing a little bit of a honey-do list, a project for the wife that was very successful. That has only netted me some additional work from the wife. But anyway, it has been a great weekend. I am excited about the fact that I do not have to go to work tomorrow. It is taking a day off. So I am very excited about that. But there is a lot of stuff that we're going to try to cover off in the show. We're going to talk a little bit about superhero fatigue. We're going to talk about a giveaway, a sale, and also Garage Con, among several other topics. But before I get to those things, I want to say hello to some comic book soldiers that have joined me here for this live stream. I saw all of you trying to encourage young Matthew to look into the Kubert School. Super talented guy. And thankfully, I have a healthy amount of his artwork. So if he does become old like Matt Woods, hopefully he will be famous and I can sell some of this art and make some good cash. Shout out to you, young Matthew. It is good to see you, bro. Man, I was putting in work today, okay? I was putting in work. She didn't even ask me to do it. How about that? That's how ahead of the curve I actually want to be. This is a project that she brought up to my attention a couple of weeks ago. Materials have been sitting in the front room. I woke up and decided to just get it going. She didn't even ask. So you know how many cookie points I got for that. Let me see. I'm scrolling through test for Echo 212. Tina is in the house. It is good to see you. Eric is in here. Welcome. Super honorable nephew, the keeper of all Noctera issue number ones, is in the house. It is good. Oh, my Hawaiian punch in your face 72. How you doing, brother? I have not seen you in a month of Sundays. It is good to see you, my friend. The Tiger is in here. Sky Allen is up in here. DB is in that. Yes, sir. As I remind people, this is not my first rodeo. This is not my first rodeo. I am not a rookie at this game. I am trying to stay ahead of the curve. Philtastic is in here. My Canadian brother, Rush Diehard. Pretty fly for a Filipino guy. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. And again, I hope all of you guys are happy. Guys and gals, I use that term generically. I hope all of you are having a really good weekend. Couple of things that I want to tee up here real quick. Garage Con, which is in the process of having some copyright stuff going on. Thanks to Kendall. Garage Con is probably going to happen November 20th. I received a message from somebody this weekend. They were like, hey, so we were talking and we decided that it would be great if you decided to do Garage Con on November 20th, because that would be a really good decision on your part. So I was like, hey, all right, Garage Con's on the 20th. I even told my parents, because my parents may come by and help me. Garage Con will be going down on November 20th. It is a Saturday. I definitely want to encourage you guys to stay tuned to the channel for all the details. I need to figure out how I'm going to provide people with the information that they actually need. But November 20th. One other thing I want to hip you to real quick before we get going. There is a sale right now on RegieCollects.com. There is a sale for Labor Day, 10% off and 15% off. Labor 10 is the code for 10% off for orders over 20 bucks. Labor 15 for 15% off orders over 1,000. And you may say, well, what do you have on your site for $1,000? There's a couple of really awesome books there. Those get a bigger discount, but Labor 10 for 10%, Labor 15 for 15% off. Those are the two deals that we have going on right now. All right. So right from the top, one of the things that you guys saw there was HS Tack, the creator of Redshift. Redshift. He is a creator that is publishing his book through Scout Comics. I have read issue number 1. I enjoyed issue number 1. He and I had a little bit of back and forth. Scott P did some things with him at a local comic shop that I tried to help raise some awareness of. HS Tack gave me over this weekend, gave me an opportunity to read issue number 2 for Redshift, which I do believe is going to be coming out this coming week. I read it. I gave him some feedback on it because he asked me, but I also really enjoyed the issue. There have been like a 3-month or so gap between issue number 1 and issue number 2. So I was a little like lost just because of the delay. But once I read through the issue and flipped back to a few things, I was able to kind of reorient myself to the story and where this thing is going to go. And again, I am enjoying this. This is an indie publication through Scout Comics. Redshift. HS Tack is the guy. If you have a chance to pick it up and read it, it is not a bad read. So shout out to him. Shout out to Scott P for hooking me up with that video clip that you guys just saw a few moments ago. Shout out to, who was that? Test for Echo 2112. Thank you, brother. He said, keep crushing it, Reggie, and a few Rush lyrics. Have are you talking about wrestling ball? Are you talking about in my formerly nicotine stained hands? So scrolling through some of the comments here, let me see. I think I am caught up. Joe is saying HS is a nice guy. I review issue 1 on my channel and read. He is a nice guy. I mean, he is a creator that is out there that is trying to make good comics. He is soliciting feedback. He is using social media to his advantage to like connect and engage with people. I applaud him for that. I really do. And he and I think after I spoke about his comic months ago, he reached out to me. We had a brief exchange. And then, like I said, he started doing some things with Scott P at a local comic shop. And he and I engaged again in a discussion. And now I think we're going to try to touch base with one another. I enjoy what he's doing. And again, I like to support these indie creators because they're trying to do some good stuff. So Matt Wood says, I'm going to miss seeing all my Bay Area soldiers at GarageCon. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really good people in the Bay Area. Young Matthew, whose comment is right below yours, has basically made it, I think, to every GarageCon that we've actually done. So yeah, it's going to be sad to miss some of those folks that used to come out to GarageCon. But fingers crossed that we're able to make some magic here and replicate some of that good stuff for the folks that are here on the East Coast. All right. So one other thing I want to hit you guys too. The Bratton brothers who are present in the room right now are actually supporting me with a little bit of a giveaway. For those that don't know, Doug and I actually partner up on some content that comes out here from the channel. And he's like, hey, you want to give away some books? I'm like, hey, if you're supplying them, yeah, let's do it. So he said, I thought it would be fun to do a giveaway of the last 3 spec comics for the next 3 spec comics video. He says, Dave hooked me up with the Justice League comics, so please consider this contribution to the Regie Collects community courtesy of the Bratton brothers. Keep up the awesome content. Well, brother, if you keep writing some of it, then it will be some awesome content. So here are the 3 books. And if you watched the spec video that we did, the Blue Ocean spec video, if you watched the last one, you already know what these 3 books are. It is Justice League issue number 19, and this has some Black Adam stuff going on as a backup story in this one. Issue number 19 and number 20 have a new origin for Black Adam. You know, Black Adam is going to be getting a movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, guaranteed to be a blockbuster. This next one is Sandman issue number 19, and this one is the error variant. This is the error variant. There are 2 of them that are out there. We think that the error variant is a little more common than the corrected version, but this is the error version of that book, Sandman issue number 19. And then the very last book is G.I. Joe issue number 4. And this book is significant because we actually get Snake Eyes on the cover in his classic uniform. Snake Eyes had appeared on the cover before, but this is I think it was issue 2. This is the first cover in which he was actually in his traditional uniform versus a generic winter uniform that all the Joes were wearing on issue number 2. This book is one that potentially is overlooked by a lot of people who really focus on G.I. Joe issue number 1 and also the silent issue. So there you go. Those are the 3 books that the Bratton brothers have given to me that I'm going to give to one of you. And I encourage you to stay tuned for the videos that are dropping this week. And guess what? One of the videos is a Blue Ocean spec video, in which I'm going to talk about 3 books that may be undervalued that are also not found in Key Collector app. And this is a fun video. It has been recorded. It is going to be released to you guys this week. So I definitely want to encourage you to stay tuned for that. In addition, we're going to be doing the top 10 CGC most submitted books. And then we're also going to have a video on future keys. And so 3 pre-recorded videos are going to drop. And then we're also doing Comics Today on Wednesday. In addition to those things, the podcast is coming out on Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the blog post by Doug is coming out on Wednesday also at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is some of the content that is going to be coming out from the channel. And there is a giveaway in there. So I definitely want to encourage you guys to stay tuned for those videos and get in on that action. Definitely some cool stuff. Almighty Liar King's like, yeah, thanks for the reminder. Still need to watch that movie. That's what's up. Let me see. I'm scrolling through. There's one of the Bratton boys right there. And there is the other. Thank you, guys. Phil Tastic says, Reggie, if you want, you can just give it to me. I live 10 minutes from day. So no, here's the thing. So I have the books. So now they send them to me. Now I have to send them to you. I don't know. It seems like too much trouble. We're just going to go ahead with the video and see. And see what happens. Yeah, they're all right. They're all right. You know, one's better than the other. I'm not going to say which one. Scrolling through the comments. All right. So we've covered off. Oh, I forgot to show the cover for Redshift. I forgot to show the cover. I can't show you guys the whole thing. He sent me the PDF of this thing, and I never let that stuff out. But I did want to show the cover of this thing from HS. And I don't know what all covers are going to be released, but this is one of the covers that was at least in the digital file. Some guys on Mars playing golf. So doesn't look any more fun on Mars than it does on Earth. Just my personal opinion about the sport that is golf. I had bad memories. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Greetings to you over there in Alaska. All right. So the next thing that I wanted to chat about was the hero fatigue. And this was a thing. This was a thing about 6 months ago. About 6 months ago, if not a little bit before that, there was a lot of talk out there around comics were going to crash, the market was going to evaporate, all of the publishers were going to be in trouble. And people were saying that because of this, partly because of this idea of hero fatigue. People don't want to see superhero movies anymore. And the thing is that I personally don't believe that there was ever any evidence of superhero fatigue in any way, shape, or form. But when people are making an argument as to why the sky is falling, they need to bolster that argument. And so one of the things they talked about is that people aren't interested in seeing superhero movies anymore. And so that noise that was out there months ago does not seem to be present right now. At least I am not hearing it the way that I was hearing it before. I'm also not hearing that the market is going to crash. There's a lot less talk about the comic book market crashing. I do feel that the market is slowing, but crashing, I'm not hearing that type of noise out there in the comic book community as much as I was several months ago. And I'm a little bit off topic, but that is okay because we are going to bring it back home right now with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi smashes Labor Day record with 83 million plus. And it says that this movie is the second biggest domestic opening of the year behind another Marvel movie, that being Black Widow. Fingers crossed that this one does not go the path of that last one with lawsuits and all that other stuff. But we are basically, we're setting some records here, right? Smashing records. If you look at the thumbnail, it basically says here, Shang-Chi is making a heroic showing at the box office where it smashed the record for Labor Day openings and will become the second biggest debut of the pandemic year so far, behind Marvel Studios' Black Widow. And it says the movie grossed 23.2 million on Saturday. That is just bananas. 23.2 million on Saturday, bringing its estimated domestic 3-day total to 71.4 million from 4,300 locations. What I don't know is if, because that number is very reminiscent of the total number of theaters that were open in the pre-pandemic period. I don't know if these were adjusted hours or capped capacity or something like that. I am going to go to the chat here in a moment, so you guys may have some additional information, but that number of 4,300 seems like the number of locations that we typically talk about in a pre-pandemic period. Again, I don't know if the numbers were reduced somewhat because of limited showings or limited occupancy, which may have tamped down the numbers a little bit. I don't know. It says here, Shang-Chi's global haul is estimated at $127.6 million. And goes on to say that this will be the second biggest domestic opening of the year, behind Black Widow, which debuted to 80.3 million over 3 days in July, ahead of F9, which brought in 70 million in late June. So this is very, very good news, I do believe, for several reasons. It's good news because of just the Marvel movies are continuing to perform. This is a new second thing. This is a new character, some nice representation that is coming in and making a huge splash into the market. That is a good thing. The 4,300 theaters that are open is a good thing, especially with everything that has transpired in the past with the whole pandemic and things being shut down. These are just, this is good news no matter how you slice it. And from everyone that I've spoken with, people have had favorable things to say about the movie. Not, hey, this is the best movie I've ever seen, but hey, this was a good movie. I enjoyed it. That is the gist of what I've seen. I haven't seen anybody that's like, this is just trash. I haven't seen that. People will never get enough of great movies. There you go. There you go. And that here's the thing. You tell people a good story, it does not matter. It does not matter what the genre is. If it's a good story, people are going to enjoy it. And maybe this is one of those types of movies that people thoroughly enjoyed. So here you go. Matthew says, such a good movie. There you go. Who is that? Dave. So no Disney Plus option means that it most likely won't meet the same fate as the Black Widow. Yeah, yeah. I'm just having a little fun. Having a little fun with that one. Scrolling through. Let me see. I lost the chat. It just got away from me. I find the MCU movies, what is that? I find the MCU movies are once and done. Can't bring myself to watch them a second time. I can watch the DC animated movies over and over. Well, do you think that's because you're a DC guy, Joe? I don't know, sir. I do know that somebody, I can't remember who I was talking with, that was going to go watch Suicide Squad again earlier today. But Suicide Squad, I thought was a decent movie. I have seen the Avenger movies a couple of times. I enjoyed those. I've watched those a couple of times. I've also watched the Netflix streaming stuff, which is not the MCU, but it's MCU characters. I have seen maybe some of the movies twice. Guardians of the Galaxy, I've probably seen those probably 4 times, just because those are hilarious. Menendez, how you doing? Welcome. First time, welcome to the live show. We definitely appreciate you rolling through here. I hope that you enjoy yourself. Sarge, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling through some of the comments, seeing what else. Another DC guy supporting the DC movies. Shocker. Scrolling through, I can't bring myself to pay the extra money to watch that here at the house. I haven't been to the movie theaters in a long time, but I cannot bring myself to pay the extra money to watch Black Widow. At some point, I will actually see it. There you go. Matt Wood says, today was the first time my family has been to the theater since 2019. It was nice to be back. What was for anyone that's in here that actually made it to the theaters this weekend, regardless of what you saw, were the theaters capped? Was capacity capped? Did you have to wear a mask? I'm just curious about some of that stuff. So scrolling through some of the comments here, Almighty Liger King says, my Marvel special edition is now worth more. Congrats, sir. You have reached the pinnacle. Let me say, I lost the chat again. It goes so fast. Reggie with 2 G's. It is good to see you. Tom says, just got back from seeing it. Awesome. That's what's up. Let me see. What is that? COVID has clearly affected the numbers. Imagine how high its numbers would have been. I would have seen Shang-Chi this weekend. I'll wait. What is that? I'll wait a few weeks and go the week on the crowds when they've diminished. Definitely makes sense to me. Definitely makes sense to me. I have not seen Titans. Please do not ruin it for me. I enjoy some Titans. I enjoy some Titans. I enjoyed some Suicide Squad. Again, just a really good time to be in comics, no doubt about that. So scrolling through, we have a thumbs down here. We have a thumbs down for Black Widow. Black Widow was a little bit of a mixed bag, to be honest with you. I did not hear as many people speaking highly of that movie. I can't put my finger on a single comment that stands out in my mind from someone that has seen Black Widow, unlike Shang-Chi and some of the other movies that have come out. So I don't know. Let me see. Scrolling through some of the comments here, a few people wore masks, says Clay. Same amount of people as pre-pandemic, and only a few wore masks. There you go. The theater was full, no mask. And Matt is in Pennsylvania. Tom says mask was not required, but most wore one. There you go. Waiting to see it next week. Can't risk it with brother. With 2 young kids, you do what you have to do. I think that's the case with everything. You do what you do. I was in Home Depot and I sent my wife a message. I said, "Are we supposed to be wearing masks? Because I'm not wearing them." Let me see. Phil Tastic says the last time we were at the theater was Endgame. We're just waiting on the streaming. There we go. So Almighty Liger King hasn't been there since 2020. I was never, you guys know this, I was never really the big theater goer, just because the wife's not really into movies, so we just don't go. But there you go. DC guy on board with the Titans, and it really is good. There was a twist there, and what was that? Episode 2? Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that one coming. Just really, really good. So Squirrel Madness in Ontario, you have to mask unless eating, and they block 2 seats on either side of you. So well capped for safe distancing. There you go. So there's a little bit. Canada has been doing things very, very cautiously. So I'm not completely surprised by that at all. Scrolling through some of the comments here, Almighty Liger King says Black Widow wasn't bad. It's just that they totally destroyed Taskmaster. That's probably the one comment that does stand out in my mind. Thank you for that reminder. There were people that were, again, it was still a mixed bag. There were some people that were like, it was all right. There was a lot of people that was like, Taskmaster was trash. But that seemed to be like the only point. I didn't really hear anything else about the movie itself being good or bad. It was Taskmaster or trash. And then it became the lawsuits, and that sucked up all the air in the movie, in the world for that movie. So scrolling through, Mark is like, she dead. So just move on. There's nothing to see here. Black Widow was a good movie to me, but it was one of my least like MCU movies, which means that it was still good. That also says a lot. The high water mark is pretty high for Marvel movies, at least in my mind as well. So let me see. I'm scrolling through some of the comments here. Joe is saying, I like the MCU movies, just not enough to see them over and over. I respect it. I will tell you, part of me does want to watch Suicide Squad again because I enjoyed it the first time. And there are some people that did not like Suicide Squad. I saw it might have been on Instagram. Somebody was like, after the first like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they were like, I had to turn it off. And I was like, the first couple of minutes, I was trying to figure out what was going on. But then after that, it got really good. Again, Idris Elba, super talented guy. That movie made me go to eBay. The movie made me go to eBay and start looking for keys, DC keys. That's how motivated I was by Suicide Squad. I also went out to the garage and started looking for some Suicide Squad books as well. That's how inspired I was by that movie. So again, to me, that's kind of like a little bit of a testament to me. Almighty Liger King, the Taskmaster, was the equivalent to Deadpool, the Wolverine Origins version. There you go. Scrolling through a couple of comments here. Ooh, the Winter Soldier. Mike, you're talking about the TV show, right? The TV show, which was basically filmed like a movie. It was what, 6 episodes? That was basically a chopped up movie. If that's what you're talking about, the Winter Soldier was good. Winter Soldier, that show was pretty darn good. So what is this? Suicide Squad leaves HBO Max today. At least, hey, thank you for the heads up on that. I appreciate that, so I can go watch. I appreciate that, brother, because I don't stay up with all the news, so I definitely need you guys to help keep me in the know with some of that stuff. What is that? Margaret makes Suicide Squad a good movie. Just saying, hey, you will get no argument from me, sir. I don't watch cartoons. I turned it on. I couldn't do it. And people have said nothing but good things about What If. I just can't bring myself to watch it. So scrolling through. Oh, what is that? There's a comment here. I was able to get tickets to NYCC. Vaccination cards and masks are required, says Joey Stuntmaster. Stay tuned for a video where I talk about this guy and that kid. I think that's the kid sitting down in the green shirt down over there. Stay tuned because I will be talking about Joey, the stunt master, here coming up. Chadwick, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Welcome. I know. At some point, man, I will have exhausted all the things that I want to watch, and then I'll get around to that. I'm actually watching Money Heist right now. Money Heist. My sister put me up on Money Heist on Netflix. It is I don't know how I feel about it just yet. It's okay. Scrolling through some of the comments here, I think I'm all caught up on the Shang-Chi. Again, if you guys have come in a little bit late, we talked a little bit about Shang-Chi shattering some records, bringing in potentially $83 million plus. Basically the second biggest domestic opening of the year behind Black Widow, which I do believe brought in about $80 million. So very, very good stuff for the Shang-Chi movie. And again, people have had nothing but good things to say about this one. So at some point, I will actually see it. While we're on, let me see if I lost my chat. I did lose the chat, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. But while we were talking about this whole movie thing, I also wanted to throw this up on screen because I do believe that this is a character that several months ago, and I cannot find the video, I actually did this as a Blue Ocean spec video. I talked about the future of the MCU, the future generations that are coming, that are making their way. And then a couple of weeks ago, we heard that Riri Williams, there was all this excitement about Riri Williams, but I wanted to also show this. So who is Ironheart Riri Williams, and how would this Marvel character be integrated into the MCU? This is actually on newsarama.com, one of my preferred sites. But we talked about Riri as a potential character that is going to have some great opportunities, a great future in the MCU. And so I want to just show you this one passage here. Let me see if I can actually find it. Scrolling. So this is entitled, "How Will Ironheart Fit into the MCU?" And it says, just as when she made her debut as a hero in Marvel Comics, Ironheart is coming into the MCU just as Tony Stark is off the board. He's well remembered, and people are hoping for someone to fill that void, and Riri Williams could very well be that someone. In addition to that, we're already in the middle of a new crop of younger superheroes making their MCU debut. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced, the Patriot, WandaVision introduced Wiccan and Speed. Loki gave us Kid Loki. We have Miss Marvel show and America Chavez on the horizon, and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And there are all the rumors that we are also going to get Miles Morales as well. So that's a little bit of a side, but this was an interesting article that I found that basically said the next generation is not coming. It's technically already here, and we are on the cusp of seeing that emergence of these characters. So the future is bright. And if you follow me on Instagram, you also know that Miles Morales just got some pajamas from a really expensive pajama line company. And I know it because my kids wear these pajamas, and I'm like, why are these so thick? Like, they're really nice pajamas. Hannah Anderson, I think is what they're called. But again, if you guys are not taking a look at some of this newer generation stuff, you're definitely going to be missing out, because this is the stuff that some of the TV shows and movies will be borrowing here from, I think, heavily in the near term, because again, I don't see this whole superhero fatigue or superhero burnout happening. And so there's some good stuff, I think, on the horizon. All right, so let me go back to the chat real quick, take that off the screen. Let me see if I got control of my chat. I did not. So let me see if I can toggle this thing one more time, see if I can get control back. It's a glitch in the system that I will continue to work around. Let me see if we got it back. And there we go. There we're back. What is that? it took me a second. It took me a second to read, brother. Underoos. No, we're not promoting underoos. I'm just saying that these characters are entrenching. These characters are being entrenched in the next generation of kids, right? Miles Morales is in Scholastic along with Dog Man. We're starting to see him on these really expensive pajamas. We are seeing Riri Williams get her own show and also come into Black Panther. So it's like these characters are here. There was the 616 on the Disney Plus focused on Miss Marvel and some other characters. So it's really, really interesting what they're actually doing here. So no, Reggie did not actually say that. Reggie did not actually say that. Let me see, scrolling through. There you go. NFTs, Underrule NFTs. There we go. Hey, I might be able to get on board with some of that action. I might be able to get on board with that. I will tell you, a lot of people reach out to me to see whether I've been getting all these most recent NFTs, and I have not. I have not been participating in a lot of that stuff. So let me see, scrolling through, a lot of people talking about NYCC. Hopefully folks are able to get there. Somebody actually asked me today if I was coming, and I am not. I am not going to make it there. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Let me see if I am all caught up. Going to see Shang-Chi and Hall and Oates next week. There you go. You're going to have a good week, my friend. Does the Blue Ocean? Yeah, the funny thing is, I think the Blue Ocean does exist. If you looked at the last spec video that Doug and I put together, the 3 books that I just showed you, technically, kind of, sort of, might be counted as some blue ocean opportunities. And we have another video that is going to be coming out this week that's also going to highlight 3 other books that might be blue ocean. You guys will have to listen to the rationale and evaluate for yourselves whether the rationale makes sense and whether these are books worthy of you, either picking up or taking better care of if they happen to be in your collection, because that's one of the things that we're doing, is highlighting books that you might already have in your collection that are also not found in Key Collector app. That is one of the big secrets, right? Is that once it gets in Key Collector app, all bets are off. All bets are off, because then it becomes a little bit of red ocean. So we are highlighting now, it'll be 6 books, technically 5 books that are not in Key Collector app. And I say that because within 24 hours of our last video, one of those comics actually made it into Key Collector app. It was less than 24 hours after that video was released. And potentially the 3 that we're going to be talking about this week might also end up there as well. So again, I encourage you guys to stay tuned for that video. I'm laughing. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see. I'm laughing because of this comment. Regie Underoos is the next project. There, hey, that's true. There are pillowcases. I wasn't responsible for the pillowcases, but there you go. Star Slayer. Ooh, yeah, Star Slayer. Well, here's the thing. Star Slayer was a book that I actually covered on the channel. I actually covered it as a blue ocean book many months ago. And just like this weekend, I saw maybe 5 different posts with people talking about Star Slayer. We talked about Star Slayer 6 months ago. We did. We talked about it in great detail. So you guys are having a lot of fun with the That is awesome. That is awesome. Technically, young Matthew actually drew a picture of the first pair of Gibbon slippers. There are some Gibbon slippers already out there, at least in a sketch from young Matthew. If you guys are tuning in a little bit late, we are going to be doing a giveaway this week, thanks to the Bratton brothers, of some books from a previous video. This is the first cover appearance of Snake Eyes in his classic uniform, that being G.I. Joe issue number 4, a Sandman issue number 19 print era variant. And then the last book is Justice League issue number 19. This is an origin story, a modern origin story for Black Adam. It's a backup story in issue number 19 and 20. We're going to be giving away those 3 books, and you have to watch the video to find out the details as to how you win those books, but we're going to be giving it away. The contest will be available to those in North America, or at least have a North American address. Let's put it that way. Joey said, you make your own blue ocean. I picked up Zen Intergalactic Ninja number 1 for $20. Gibbon Ruse. You guys are hilarious. Well done. Well, Mark, I'm not putting that comment on screen, my friend. I am not going to put that one up there. So if you guys watched the Wednesday show, I had Doug on and we spent some time talking about Substack. There are a lot of, I think, misperceptions about Substack. There's a lot of people that think that Substack is only digital comics, and it's not. I think there are a few different creators that are actually going to be issuing physical comics as a part of what they are doing on Substack. There are some people that believe that Substack is the end of physical comics as a whole, in terms of it will erode Marvel and DC. I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest with you. As we talked about on the show, electronic newsletters are not new. This is something that was being done before, and now it is back. And I guess what is old is new again. But there's also some other things that we talked about in that video. So if you missed the Wednesday show, I definitely encourage you to go back and watch it, as he always does. Doug brings a certain amount of insight and level-headedness to a conversation, and so I definitely want to encourage you guys to check that out. But I bring that conversation up because in dribs and drabs, we are seeing more and more creators kind of sort of abandoned ship from Marvel and DC. Jeff Lemire, the creator of Sweet Tooth, is the most recent, and he is actually bringing some Black Hammer and his next graphic novel to Substack. And hold on. So writer artist Jeff Lemire has joined a growing number of comic creators to partner with the online platform Substack to serialize new original comics ahead of their traditional debut via a paid subscription newsletter. Although for Lemire, it's more than just that. He plans to serialize 2 major projects: an original graphic novel called Fish Flies, and a new Black Hammer comic centered on a character from this Colonel. I've never read Black Hammer, so I have no clue who that character is. And he says, I don't know why. I don't even know what to call it. Newsletter seems too limiting for that. What I hope to do on this platform, he says, my intention here is to create something akin to an online studio, a new platform to publish new comics, and a meeting place to share all of my work in progress with you, and also offer lots of exclusive new material. So this one title that he's actually doing, this Fireflies, he actually says here that this thing, he says that this thing his plan is for it to run over 500 pages, which would be one of his longest projects as a writer and artist. And so I just thought that this was interesting. I watched I watched Sweet Tooth, the show. I thought it was really good. I never actually read the comic, but then I watched the show and then I read the comic and then realized how good it was. I don't know whether that same type of magic will be brought to Sweet Tooth, but I at least wanted to flag it for you guys because, again, more and more creators are starting to take their shot on goal when it comes to Substack, and maybe lightning will strike twice, well, technically three times for this guy, because I think Gideon Falls, is that the one that was just optioned recently? I think that was the one that was optioned or moved into production or something like that, where he already has Sweet Tooth, and now we have Fish Flies on the horizon as well. So again, I wanted to kind of offer that up for you guys. Let me pull that off. Scrolling through some of the comments here. ER says Substack plus VV equal end of physical comics. Sell your comics while there are still people willing to buy them and buy crypto. What I will say to you, brother, is I don't know if you're right about that. I don't know if you're right about that in any way, shape, or form. But if that's how you feel, that is how you feel. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I am a collector. I prefer to have physical things that are in my hand. And, the great thing about it is that, comics have historically done well decade after decade after decade. Substack, VV, NFTs, all of that stuff is not proven. It is not proven. And I'm not saying that it's bad because I've signed up for Substack. I've also bought some NFTs on VV, but they are unproven and they do not have the track record that we have with comics. And so there you go. I'm going to keep buying some comics. Let me see. Scrolling through some of the comments here. Doug, that was my initial comment, and I decided to backtrack from my standard comment and let it go, but then you went ahead and jumped up in it, so I'm just let me see. Phil Tastic says there is plenty of room in the market to allow for a new medium. Looking forward to seeing what comes from that. I'm taking a similar kind of wait and see approach with Substack. I've signed up for the Donny Cates Substack. I became a goat because I just want to be the greatest of all time. So I decided to go ahead and become a goat. And they've released, I want to say it's like an email a day. It's almost like an email a day. I haven't seen anything other than the emails and haven't even actually read all the emails. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Donny Cates and his partner bring to bear. So let me see, scrolling through. Oh, I just lost my chat again. Let me do that. And let me see if I can get control of this thing. Hey, my man, Just Pele, it is good to see you, brother. Welcome. ER says, I've been collecting since the 60s and I'm selling all my books at auction and investing it in crypto. I really do hope that works out for you, because I would say comics are pretty hot right now. There is no doubt about that. And it might be a very good time to actually, if you're choosing to get out of the hobby of comics, might not be a bad time to cash out and get some of that stuff. So, scrolling through, but I will buy your comics cheaply if Doug doesn't buy them all before I get there. I will just go ahead and leave that comment out there. So one of the things that I will say to you, let me read this. So Mark Andrews says, so many writers and artists have bailed on Marvel and DC over the years, and they're still publishing books. There you go. And I think that's the thing. And one of the other things that I actually forgot to mention when Doug and I were talking about this the other day when it came to Substack is that I personally don't believe that all of these writers and artists are going to turn their backs completely on Marvel and DC. I think that they are taking their shot on goal with Substack because they're giving out money. They're giving out really big grants, and that is hard to walk away from when someone's like, hey, you can own everything and I'm going to give you a bunch of money to come over here. That makes for some really attractive stuff. They offer me some cash, I'm going. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. But I don't believe that these creators are only going to do Substack. I think a lot of them are going to continue to keep one foot in with Marvel and DC to continue producing comic content for them. They're also going to continue to keep their foot in with Boom Studios and Image and Second Sight and Scout Comics and all the other publishers, because I don't think that they're going to put all their eggs in one basket, especially when something is unproven. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Substack is ever going to completely replace what Marvel and DC are doing. I just don't see it. But anything is possible. But I will tell you, on Wednesday, I'll be at the LCS to pick up my comics. That is what I will tell you. Let me see. There you go. There you go. As long as there are people willing to pay for physical comics, I think physical comics will be around. Well said, brother. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. And that is the truth. And if you listen to what Jim Lee says, he says the plan was always to come back to one of the big two, to Marvel or DC, and he actually did do that. Some of the others didn't. Some of the other, like, well, even Todd McFarlane, I think, has actually come back. So yeah, I think that what we are seeing now is not new. This is not new. This has happened decade after decade after decade, and will continue to happen. Fingers crossed, and publishers will continue to be here and will continue to put out comics, and we will continue to buy them and support them. So there you go. There you go. Right there. Scrolling through Illegally Burnings in here. There he is. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you, my man. Good chatting with you this weekend. Scrolling through some of the comments. All right. I think I am, what is this? So say a guy like Alex Ross has never been tied to just Marvel or DC and he's doing okay. Yeah. There's a lot of people. And I don't know if Alex Ross ever had an exclusive contract, to be honest with you. I don't know his history all that well. But you know, it's one of those things, like even in my industry, if you come up in pharmaceuticals or biotech, you typically will go to one of the big pharmaceutical companies that are out there. You'll go there for a few years, you'll learn the rules, you'll go through the training, you'll make your mistakes, you'll perfect your craft, or you'll figure out that this industry is not for you. And then once you get that experience, once you get your footing, once you figure out what aspect of this industry you want to go in, then you typically go to like a mid-size or a startup organization where you have more freedom and more latitude, and then you kind of run. But almost everybody goes through the system. They go through the Pfizers and the AstraZenecas and the Mercks and the GSKs, these big companies, because they have great training programs. They have great ways to root you in this thing. I don't think it's all that different from Marvel or DC, to be honest with you. You go there, you're excited, you get your experience, you get your book, you see your name in there for the first time, you get your first cover, you get your first interior pages. And once you learn the game, once you understand it, once you understand how it all works, then you go out and you try to take your shot on goal, right? I see parallels between my industry and this industry in so many different ways. I watch a lot of things related to music. Like I was just watching something on Kumo D here on YouTube a few minutes ago. But there are a lot of parallels. And again, none of this is new. None of it is new. Fingers crossed we will continue to have physical comics for the decades ahead. There you go. Let me see. Did Larson or Grail ever go back to DC or Marvel? Only one? No. You know what's funny is I almost talked about Eric Larson earlier today. Does anybody read Savage Dragon? Does anybody read Savage Dragon? I think Savage Dragon is on issue number 230. Is there anybody in here that buys Savage Dragon? It's one of those things that I think I might have been talking to Doug about this, and I think it was Doug, but it was this whole conversation about, the great thing about striking out on your own is that you don't have editors and you don't have, controls in place, publishers to guide you and to send you down a path, which it gives you a tremendous amount of freedom. But then sometimes those things are actually needed to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there you go. Like, I put out the call. I don't know of anybody that is actually reading Savage Dragon. And it's 230 issues in. And it's just like, why? He probably would have been better off going back to Marvel or DC, to be honest with you, and would have maybe had. And again, I don't know how much money he makes. I don't really know how successful he is, but no one's really reading this comic, and you're producing a creative work that should be enjoyed. And I don't think that people are, I mean, even Spawn, I know people won't like this, but even Spawn has had its ebbs and flows, right? But Todd McFarlane has actually allowed other people to write and draw Spawn for long periods of time in order to, I think, maybe recharge his batteries to give new energy and vitality to the character. I don't know that Eric Larson has done that. And again, I don't read it. I'm not in tune with Savage Dragon, so maybe I'm off base there, but I throw these things out there. Gotham City says we sell 3 copies per issue. There you go. There you go. That is ungood. I think that would be a technical term used by an LCS to describe selling 3 copies. It is ungood. It is ungood. So I don't know. And again, not to bag on Savage Dragon, because I used to dig the character. I used to read the comic. I used to pick it up all the time. I have a sale that someone sent me from the cartoon. I have the original graphic fantasy issues 1 through 3, all from Eric Larson back in the day. So I am a fan. I really am. So, and again, he is on the road. He is on the road. Just Pele, I am not going to put your comment on screen, but I have read it, and I do enjoy your comments, sir. But I am not. Follow my buddy Just Pele on the Twitter machine. He is. Just Pele goes hard. He goes hard, and I enjoy him. So, a couple of real things that I'll recap here. GarageCon, November 20th. It is going down. Stay tuned to the channel for additional details on the what, when, where, and all that kind of stuff. But November 20th, GarageCon is actually going to go down, and I look forward to meeting as many folks as can make it here. We are having a sale on ReggieCollects.com. If you use the code LABOR10, you can save 10% on all orders over $20. And if you buy some really expensive stuff, you can actually save yourself 15% by using the code LABOR15 on orders over $1,000. There are some expensive books on the site, so just be aware of that. Couple of ways to save a few bucks if you decide to buy some things from ReggieCollects.com. We are doing a giveaway this week, couple of books from our previous spec video. Thanks to the Bratton boys, we're going to be giving away G.I. Joe Sandman, issue number 19, Justice League, issue number 19. Stay tuned for the videos for that. And spec video coming out this week, future spec video coming out this week. I'm sorry, future keys. Sorry, spec video, future keys, top 10 most submitted books into CGC, comics today. Those are the videos that are going to be coming out. We're releasing the podcast and also the blog post this week as well. So stay tuned for some of that stuff. So scrolling through some of the comments here. Pretty Fly, come on, man. I'm watching you, brother. I am watching you, brother. What is this? Colin has a couple of videos about finding collections. Let me see if I can find Colin's comment. Any tips? Colin says, any tips on buying a collection? I'm looking for them, but can't seem to find any. If you search for Regie Collects collection or Regie Collects buying a collection, you should find videos out there. I have several videos on buying collections off of Craigslist, Let Go, Offer Up. I have videos on allowing collections to actually find you using Craigslist, word of mouth, working with your LCSs. Local LCSs actually get a ton of calls and visits from people that are trying to sell collections because they have physical locations. People drive through to they're like, hey, I got some comics. You want to buy them? A lot of LCSs are unable to buy a lot of the collections that come their way for one reason or another. That's a good way if you can make friends with an LCS owner. But again, there's a ton of videos on the channel that will actually help with that. And then you can also reach out to me on Instagram and we can have a chat, and I can always pontificate on a couple of things to help you guys out. So Tina, thank you for flagging that one. Definitely appreciate that because it got by me. All right. So that's basically the show. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit this Sunday night. I'm about to go downstairs and spend a little bit of time with the wife. It has been a very, very busy weekend and an enjoyable one. So a lot of really great content that is going to be coming out from the channel. I hope you guys will watch it and will enjoy it. And if you guys need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.